My pranams to Lord Ganesh. My humble and respectful namaskars to the random reader and stray listeners. Stories by Pandemonium. Now, a story told by my grandfather. Title of the story: The Monkey, the Baked Baby Doll, and the Devi in the Jungle. Dig, 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 dig. Now, the inquisitive monkey soon came to know that the senior queen was an excellent cook. So, it insisted that she cook for him a delicious food item with tantalizing aroma shaped as a baby doll figure which it would offer to a very powerful goddess in an ancient temple very deep in the jungle as a prayer offering to grant her a child. The senior queen at once protested that as the king had banished her, there were nil chances of her having a child, and she was not a woman who would undertake any hanky panky measures just to get a child. In Marathi, मी नाही त्यातली सांगून ठेवते. But the monkey insisted and persisted with its demand for a baby doll food item, and eventually she relented. The monkey smiled craftily because you see, like all monkeys, it had a trick hidden up its non existent sleeve. Early the next morning, the queen got up and, after much grinding, spinning, tossing, mixing, filtering, kneading, stuffing, squeezing, mincing, chopping, crushing, carving, baking, roasting, steaming, frying, she cooked a marvelous true to life baby and painted it with edible colors. The monkey nodded in happy approval and took off into the deep jungle with the doll tucked securely at once. Soon it reached the ruins of the ancient temple and prostrated before the idol deity, which was a fertility goddess. After uttering a few words in praise of the goddess, it laid the baby doll in the idol's extended hands, which were in the pose of a blessing. Addressing the goddess loudly, it said, O Mother Goddess, this is the baby prince of the kingdom of Kong, sent so far here through me for your special blessings. It is now sleeping soundly, so it won't wake up in a hurry. I will let it remain in your arms for some time so that you can bless it. In my hurry, I forgot to bring some flowers to offer to you. So please give me leave in the meanwhile to gather some flowers. Listen well, O goddess. I am leaving the heir of the kingdom of Kong in your custody. Let no harm befall it. Should it even get a minor scratch on its clothes, the crazy king of Kong will spare no one, not even you. So beware. Saying so, the wily monkey departed and quickly gathered some flowers. But instead of returning to the temple, it hid behind an old pillar and secretly watched what the goddess was up to. Now the goddess waited for a while for the monkey to return, but as it started getting late and there were no signs of the monkey, she grew restless. As the monkey had purposely placed the baby doll in her arms close to her face, naturally all the herbal ingredients and spicy condiments by yielding their fragrances as a delicious waft directly into her sensitive nostrils. The aroma was so tantalizingly tempting and filled her nostrils with the flavor and smells of all the choicest ingredients coated with caramelized sugar and given a glossy sheen of ghee and butter and topped with the fragrance of the best saffron that she became more and more restless. And though it may seem a bit sacrilegious, yes, she got increasingly, ravenously, unbearably hungry. You see, the temple had been engulfed by this jungle centuries ago, and the poor goddess had been starving since centuries, as no one had visited her temple ever since the jungle took over. And naturally, there had been no food or fruit offerings. All these years she had failed to notice it, but now this aromatic baby had aroused her hunger and made her increasingly aware of its pangs. Again and again, the hunger inducing smells of the baby doll assaulted her nose and tongue taste buds, making her slurp to stop her mouth from drooling. Finally, she could bear the torture no longer and, giving in to the overpowering temptation, gave the baby doll a teeny tiny kiss. Alas, this was her undoing, because so fragrant and intoxicating was the kiss that she was tempted to give it just a very, very teeny tiny lick with her tongue. So aromatic and tasty and luscious and delicious and yummy was the coating that one lick led to another, which led to another teeny tiny bite, which led to a bigger gulp, and so on and so forth, that eventually the ravenously hungry goddess found to her horror that the baby doll had entirely vanished. In her all encompassing hunger, she had completely gobbled up the baby doll and was now smacking her lips in fond remembrance of a wonderful meal. The exact Marathi words for the appreciative closure of such a meal is safa chat, chatta matta, which has the exact sound of the finger and lip licking gestures signaling the end of a perfect meal. All that remained of the doll was a nice, deep, satisfied burr from within the belly of the goddess. Her hunger over, the goddess now realized the fearful consequences of her action. It struck her that she had gobbled up the baby of a king. Now, if the monkey returned and found the baby left in custody of the goddess missing, all hell would break loose. Whatever was she to do? At this exact moment, the monkey made its presence and, offering the scanty flowers, blabbered some excuse for being late. Then, slowly turning its crafty eyes to a corner, the monkey said, "O great life bestowing goddess, pardon me, but I don't see the baby anywhere. Instead, I see a tiny bulge near your tummy. How kind of you that you are breastfeeding the baby. Oh, how stupid of me to have intruded at this moment. You are indeed very kind. They do not call you the life giving goddess in vain. You have miraculous powers to bring back anything to life. Did not goddess Rukmini bring Saint Sakhu back to life for the sake of Lord Vithoba? Did not Lord Jesus bring Lazarus back from the dead? Great indeed are your divine powers. I shall let the baby remain in your arms a little longer till it is well suckled. I will not disturb your privacy for a few more minutes. Saying so, the monkey again made a show of departure. Indeed, the innocent goddess was indirectly reminded of her life giving powers and subtly prompted as to what was the way out by the cunning monkey. In a flash, the goddess took up the most beautiful flower offered to her by the monkey and uttered a few magical incantations. Lo and behold! The flower magically took the form of a real, living, beautiful, most adorable baby. Hearing the wails of the baby, the monkey quickly re entered the temple and said, Dear me, it seems to be missing its mother. I must hurry home. Saying so, it quickly picked up the living baby and, its mission accomplished, made a quick exit. Soon it reached the cave where the queen was and, laying the baby at her feet, narrated the whole story of how it had tricked the goddess to exchange the edible baby doll for a real living baby. So thrilled and joyous and happy was the queen on getting a real live baby that, showering the baby with kisses, she danced madly and wildly. Soon the news that the senior queen had given birth to the Kong kingdom's heir in the jungle reached the ears of the crazy king through his spy network. So overjoyed was he that he repented for his earlier drastic action of driving away the senior queen Navarti and immediately sent a grand palanquin or palki with ministers and soldiers to bring back the queen and the baby back to the royal palace. There was great jubilation and joy in the kingdom, and a grand welcoming reception was held in honor of the baby and the queen in a huge stadium attended by a huge crowd including Donald Tatya and Modi Mama and many other kings and rulers of neighboring kingdoms, except one miffed sworn enemy neighbor called Porkistan, which lodged a complaint with the Fraternity of Kingdoms for not being invited. But no one cared for their complaints. Needless to say, the senior queen was now the favorite, and her word was law. As if to seal and to confirm her victory and revised status, the hitherto Navarti queen was conferred the title of Pattarani, meaning chief or foremost amongst all the king's queens. With her new powers, she could have well banished the junior Avarti queen into the jungle as tit for tat and as her next move in their tic tac toe game. However, the kind and soft hearted senior queen instead pleaded with the crazy king to allow the junior queen to stay on in the palace. In her soft, kind, soothing voice, she cajoled the king. Please, please, O crazy king of Kong kingdom, let us not be so petty as to take revenge. Let her stay with us in our royal abode as my younger sister. I will shower her with my love and poriborton or transform her. And all the people in the kingdom and the prostitutes hailed the Pattarani for her forgiving, kind, and large hearted nature. For how many of us have the nature to forgive our sworn internal enemies? Truly, she was a saint whose saintliness was comparable only to a similar foreign born queen in the long forgotten history of another kingdom of Wudustan who had the big heart to forgive her kingly husband's murderers and even gave up her claim to the prime velvet chair of the kingdom, allowing a Mauni Baba to sit in that much coveted chair instead. But let us not digress. And so the crazy king of Kong, charmed or taken in by the sweet, kind words of the Pattarani, allowed the junior queen to stay. The senior queen, now Pattarani, gave the junior queen the much envied, simple, and prestigious task of daily washing all the linen of the royal family and palace workers and guests. Indeed, so kind hearted was the Pattarani that she conferred on the junior queen the most honored and prestigious title of Royal Thoban or washerwoman of the Kong kingdom. It was an honor the junior queen could not refuse, for it would have offended the very powerful vote bank of washerwomen. The title and role of royal washerwoman required her to wear a uniform dress code of soft, sponge like robes that sucked water and increased their weight manifold on the wearer. The Pattarani, as per the monkey's advice, showered the junior queen with heavy, highly polished, shining as gold, brass ornaments, mainly designed and prepared by the royal jewelers for adorning royal oxen, which by royal protocol the junior queen had to wear 24 by 7, and everyone marveled at the generosity of the Pattarani or senior queen. Showered with so much love, it was inevitable that the junior queen started transforming Poriborton into a size 0 item girl figure. How the evil junior queen eventually took her sweet, mischievous revenge by collaborating with a few Chinese friends and sprinkling an itching, fungus and bacteria causing talcum powder in the royal couple's innerwear, which they wore on the occasion of a great public event, is, however, an interesting story for another day. However, the junior queen immediately went missing from that event day and has never been heard of since. This was 1,000 years ago, but storytellers say her spirit or Atma of the junior queen, addicted to royalty, still haunts and possesses many lady politicians to this day. But that is just a fictional conjecture. The clever monkey was made the chief adviser to the crazy king and loving guardian of the royal heir. Thus, they all lived happily ever after. So ends our short story of the baked baby doll and the monkey and the jungle goddess. Moral of the story: never underestimate your talents or yourself. You never know how or when which one of your hidden talents, like the senior queen's cooking talents, may come to your help and rescue and benefit you. आमची गोष्ट सरो, तुमची पोटे भरो. आमची गोष्ट आखूड, तुमच्या पाठीत लाकूड. May our story be short and funny. May your life be long and happy. This story is dedicated to all the favorite and non-favorite people in our lives. The author wishes to thank Alisha Santikari, Siddhesh Bhaindarkar and Chandrakant Sant for the technical support and guidance. Dear reader and listener, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.